Okay, a really important section here that I want to address. And again, this is going to be on regarding relationship from A Course of Love. And I'm reading from the text here. It says, "The Christ in you is wholly human and wholly divine. As the wholly divine, nothing is unknown. As the wholly human, everything has been forgotten." And holy is spelled WHOLLY, okay, meaning in totality. And I will continue reading. "Thus we begin to learn the known as the one who already possesses all. It is this joining of the human and divine that ushers in love's presence, as all that caused you fear and pain falls away, and you recognize again what love is. It is this joining of the human and divine that is your purpose here, the only purpose worthy of your thought. You who have so filled your mind with senseless wanderings and thoughts that think of nothing that is real, rejoice that there is a way to end this chaos. The world you see is chaos, and nothing in it, including your thoughts, are trustworthy. This is why your thoughts must be newly dedicated to the only purpose worthy of your thought, the purpose of joining with your real self, the Christ in you. I said earlier, it is only through union with me that you learn, because it is only in union with me that you are yourself, with a large S, capital S. Now we must expand your understanding of union and of relationship, as well as your understanding of me. Union is impossible without God. God is union. Is this not like saying God is love? Love is impossible without union. The same is true of relationship. God creates all relationship. When you think of relationship, you think of one relationship, then another. The one you share with this friend or that, with husband or wife, with child or employer or parent. In thinking in these specific terms, you lost the meaning of the holy relationship. Relationship itself is holy. And in this way, when they say holy relationship, it's with an H, meaning celestial, holy, heavenly. Relationship itself is holy. Relationship exists apart from particulars. This is what you can't conceive of and what your heart must newly learn. All truth is generalizable, because truth is not concerned with any of the specific details or forms of your world. You think relationship exists between one body and another, and while you think this is so, you will not understand relationship or union, or come to recognize love as what it is. Relationship is what exists between one thing and another. It is not one thing or another thing. It is not a third thing in terms of being a third object, but it is something separate, a third something. You must realize that a relationship exists between your hand and a pencil when you go to write something down, but it is a relationship you take so completely for granted that you've forgotten that it exists. All truth lies in relationship, even one so simple as this. The pencil is not real, nor the hand that grasps it. Yet the relationship between the two is quite real. When two or more are joined together, is not an injunction for bodies to unite. It is a statement that describes the truly real, the only reality that exists. It is the joining that is real and that causes all creation to sing a song of gladness. No one thing exists without another. Cause and effect are one. Thus, one thing cannot cause another without their being one or joined in truth. We are beginning now to paint you a new picture, a picture of things unseen before but visible. Unseen before but visible to your heart, if not your eyes. Your heart knows love without a vision of it. You give it form and say, I love this one, or I love that, yet you know that love exists apart from the object of your affection. Love is set apart in a frame not of this world. You hold objects up to capture it, to put a frame around love's vision and say, this is it. Once you have it captured and hanging for all to look at and behold, you realize this is not love at all. You then begin your building of defenses, your evidence to cite to say, yes, indeed, this is love, and I have it here. It hangs upon my wall, and I gaze upon it. It is mine to own and keep and cherish, as long as it is where I can look upon it. It is real to me, and I am safe. Okay, so I'm going to share a personal note here. With the dissolving of my last romantic relationship, that was for a bit of an extended period of time. So we had lived together for 3 years. When that relationship ended, I went through a pretty dynamic grief process. More grieving than the normal relationship endings that I have experienced, because I've experienced a few. And that one was more intense. And even today, I don't think I understand why it was so intense, but it was. And I just accept that, some things I'm just not meant to understand right now. And it doesn't matter. And that's the truth, is that the specifics really don't matter. But what I realized during the course of my grieving was that I really had to ask myself what I felt like I had lost, because that's where grief comes from, is a feeling of loss. And so I had to ask myself, what did I lose? What did I lose? Why do I feel so grief-stricken? And what I realized was, when I started asking myself that question, I had to really look at it. What did I lose? The love that I valued so greatly was still in me. That love is still in me. What I lost was the object, what I lost in the mind was the object that I had doted, that I had expressed my love upon. But that the thing that I really valued was the love that I feel, that I am, that I have to express. So that was a big moment for me, and I come back to it every once in a while and remind myself, because still seeking that, whether it be a romantic partner, whether it be the texts that I'm sharing with all of you who watch these videos, whether it be the little people that I'm now working with, the children that I'm now working with, that I it is so wonderful to be able to express love into this world of form. Whatever face that looks like, whatever shape it takes on, I am still looking at ways that I can personally express love into the world of form that is satisfying to me, because I realized that I had really devoted so much of my focus in directing my loving feelings to my romantic partner that when the relationship dissolved, I didn't know where to direct my love to anymore, and it felt like a huge loss to me. Again, all of these things we try to explain within the mind, and the mind just isn't capable of a true level of knowing, because over the last 20 years, almost 20 years, I've read a lot of books. I've read a lot of literature on, all kinds of psychological stuff, all kinds of self-help stuff, all, and everyone has their own expression of an idea, similar ideas that can be very helpful. A lot of times I have read relationship books, having had several, I almost said failed, because that's how it's perceived, right? Failed relationships. I've had several relationship experiences. And so, with the dissolving of each of those relationships, I would go read a book and, okay, well, how do I do it right the next time? And through A Course in Miracles and through this course of love, through my desire to know Christ, I'm learning every day more and more to relinquish the judgment, to let go of the perception of failure, to let go of, and to be able to see it that way, like, oh, there it is again, there's the judgment again. Failed relationships. No, I had these relationships. I had these relationship experiences. Just because I'm no longer in relationship with that particular person, that loving interaction occurred. That relationship occurred. And to look at it as a failure is really not beneficial to anyone, not anyone. But I had these experiences. And so today I can say, oh, I recognize the judgment in that statement, and kind of pull that back and say, okay, let's look at this. Let's look at it with the eyes of Christ. Let's look at it. So here again is another way that we can use union or relationship. So if I come back to that place of love, to my Christedness, which is Christ look with me, the Christ in me look at this with me, and say, okay, we're both going to look at this. So I'm creating, not only am I creating relationship with this thing I'm seeing, I'm also creating relationship with the small self and the Christed self, saying, let us together look upon this. Let us together look upon this. And my small self says, this is what I see, and Christ says, but this is what is real. And so there are so many opportunities that we have to create union, but the true union is in the small self and the Christed self merging to align with these things as they're occurring. Does that mean that relationships will not end? Like romantic relationships, they will still come and go. It's still going to occur because everyone has their lesson here. Everyone's in lesson, and we just don't know what part we're playing in that grand scheme of experience. So in my station, I played a role in these different relationships, whatever it was. Hopefully some good came of it. And to say it was a failed anything that's blasphemy. In a sense, it's blasphemy because, the opportunity was granted, the opportunity was utilized, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. And thinking that I know, my small self knows better than Christ or better than the Creator, our Father in heaven, to say that this was a failed anything, that is blasphemy. And so I just wanted to use that as another example of how I can see in my life where union is created every time we are willing to say, Christ, look with me. My higher self, my Christed self, look with me, the smaller self, on this perception of what is real, on this what I think is happening, and give me the really important stuff. Give me back what I need in this moment for my own good and the good of all. And so, sorry I digressed there quite a bit. I hope this message finds you well, and peace and love. May you be blessed.